Well, the South African Communist Party has announced that it will contest the 2026 local government elections. The SACP is part of the Tripartite Alliance and the ANC and COSATU, and has consistently campaigned for the former ruling party for national and local elections. It says all the modalities of going it alone will be thrashed out at the party's 5th Special National Conference, which is happening in a fortnight. SACP spokesperson and Central Committee member Dr Alex Mashilo joins us virtually to discuss these ideas and where we're going with this. It's so lovely to have you. Thanks so much for being with us here on the program.
Thanks, Leon. Greetings to you, Sakina, and to the listeners.
So, since 1994, the SACP has been contesting power or elections within the context of the ANC-led alliance. It's now changed. SACP going it alone. Can I ask you, is the SACP now officially announcing their breakaway from the ANC?
We do not have a resolution to break away from the alliance. We also do not have a resolution to go it alone. Remember that the SACP is a working-class political organization guided by Marxist-Leninist principles. And because of that, unlike liberal political organizations, the SACP cannot go it alone. Every step that we take, we will try at all times to ensure that it is with and for the working class and the poor. That is the approach we have been advancing thus far, and we will be deepening that particular approach. Yes, indeed, we have been contesting elections within the framework of the ANC-led alliance from 2007. Assessing the weaknesses of the alliance, we adopted a resolution that if the alliance is to be more impactful, it has to be reconfigured. I'm sure you know, since that time, we have been talking the reconfiguration of the alliance up to 2017 when we held our 14th Special National Congress. In the absence of progress in 2014, we then took a decision to contest elections more effectively, either within the framework of a reconfigured alliance or building a popular left front, which could be our electoral modality. That was in 2017 at our 14th Special National Congress. Following that Congress, there were engagements within the alliance on the reconfiguration. And in 2019, the alliance adopted a common paper on the reconfiguration. In December of that year, at our 4th Special National Congress, we endorsed that paper and concluded that if the spirit of the reconfiguration was undermined in any part of the country, our districts reserved the right to apply to provinces, which would then hand over reports to the Central Committee to approve contestations in those districts. But as you know, in 2021, elections were contested under COVID conditions. There were adjustments to the electoral timetables. Many of our districts said that they didn't have time. As a result, we didn't receive a single application from any district to contest the 2021 local government elections. In 2022, we held a 15th National Congress of the party reviewing the situation. And then we concluded there is just no way going forward that the SACP will survive as an independent political party if it were to continue contesting elections without the reconfiguration of the alliance. If the alliance is not reconfigured, the SACP must adopt new modalities to contest the elections. So what happened in 2023, March, April, there was a review to implement that decision. But then, as you know, there were just too many political parties registered. And white capitalists in South Africa were throwing a lot of money behind those new political parties. Monies also came from European and United States foundations to dislodge the ANC. And at that Central Committee of the SACP, augmented with additional representatives from provinces and districts, it was decided that no, let us not implement the decision at that time. Let us rally behind the ANC in the May 2024 elections.
Okay.
Those elections have come and are gone, and you know what has happened. We are going to a special National Congress next week where we will finalize the modalities to implement the decision in 2026 local government elections.
Okay, so you've given us a great context now, so we know exactly how you've got here. One has to ask, your decision, has this obviously been something that is at the heart of this government of national unity as well? You have sharply criticised the ANC for partnering with the DA. So talk to us about this. Was this kind of the final nail or the final straw where you said, this is it, we got to go alone now?
No, the implementation of the decision was scheduled for the May 2024 elections. You will know we were critical about the funding that came from the white capitalists behind the many political parties that were propped up towards the 2024 elections. The IEC has the data of the tens of millions donated to these political parties, some of which were put together into what was called a moonshot pact or a multi-party charter. But that multi-party charter did not succeed in the elections, and then it disintegrated. Some of those parties went to the ANC, and the ANC went to them to form the government of national unity. The reality is that even though we supported the ANC in the May 2024 elections, we did so without the reconfiguration of the alliance. There were principles that were adopted to guide the reconfiguration of the alliance. If I may share one of those principles,
there was a principle of... Very quickly, we've only got about 6 minutes, so a few more questions to get through, so very quickly.
Thank you so much for giving me that opportunity. One of the key principles for the reconfiguration of the alliance was the principle, and is still the principle, of democratic extensive consensus seeking consultation within the alliance. This principle did not really succeed and was not implemented. If you look at the statement of intent of the parties that agreed to form the government of national unity, that principle is there.
Yeah.
Now you ask yourself, why would this principle not be accepted within the alliance, but be accepted with opposition parties that campaigned to remove the ANC from power, such as the DA?
Yeah.
Now, we cannot say that the GNU does not have an impact. The reality is that even how it was formed undermined the very spirit of the reconfiguration of the alliance. We met to agree that the SACP, COSATU, and SANCO will form part of the negotiating team with other political parties and the technical committee that was to write the statement of intent.
Okay.
After agreeing with the president having summarized that decision, that decision was not implemented.
Okay, so we understand. I mean, there certainly are issues within the alliance, and this is something that you are stating. The SACP you're not happy with the way things have gone. But let's be honest, South Africans have not been happy with the way things have been going. And I think the voting, whether or not there's a government of national unity or not, the elections showed us that South Africans were tired of the way things were being run. And let's be honest here, the SACP has been a part of this Tripartite Alliance, which is with the ANC. And many people believe and have spoken to the pact that you have been complicit in the ANC's failure, and something needed to change. Now, going it alone, I mean, people expected you to be a little bit more vocal about what was going on within the ranks of the ANC during these very, very turbulent times. Let's talk to how you plan on doing things differently, and how perhaps your image, which may have already been tainted being a part of the Tripartite Alliance, is going to be different now that you go it alone.
Just to clarify again, we are not going it alone. We are a working class party. So every step we are taking is with and for the workers and poor. So we do not use the terminology going it alone because we are not a liberal organization. The assertion you made is correct only if you ignore the struggles we have fought for policy changes, only if you ignore the leadership we played, including in the recall of the ANC presidents when things were not going well, only if you ignore everything we have been doing to try to achieve a change, then the assertion you made will hold. But if you consider the struggles we have been fighting to achieve a change, if you consider the leadership role we have been playing and the achievements we have made even under the difficult circumstances you have mentioned, you will know that it cannot be correct that our integrity is completely tainted.
I suppose what would be nice is to hear sort of perhaps what stand did the SACP take or push back against the ANC at the time when decisions that contradicted the socialist ideals that you have? Because whether we like it or not, we're moving in a much more capitalist way in terms of governance. But when did you push back, and how successful were you in talking within the Tripartite Alliance to try and rectify situations?
In 1996, the government adopted GEAR. I'm sure you know we led struggles against GEAR and anti-privatization struggles. We coined concepts such as the 1996 Glass Project that you know you have gone through when you held so many interviews. That resulted in changes, including leadership changes within the ANC and the Alliance. We fought many struggles for the transformation of the financial sector. Millions of South Africans were excluded in the banking. They were just unbanked. The reason why they ultimately were banked is because of the SACP. So there are struggles we fought and there are struggles we won, in the same way as there are struggles we have lost. We are not an opposition to the ANC. Our alliance is an alliance of independent organizations. So that is why when we moved forward with this implementation, we went to the ANC and said, the ANC, we have taken these decisions. We know that you have an interest. We would like to engage further with you. We held engagements and we are meeting again in February. We will be meeting with COSATU, which is a working class organization. We will be meeting with our other ally, SANCO. We have resolved to meet with other progressive and worker organizations. So you can see that our approach is not to go it alone, although we are forging ahead.
All right. Unfortunately, I have to leave it there, and there's just so much more I needed to speak to you. But we know that you are going to be having your 5th Special National Congress. It'll be taking place, scheduled for the 11th to the 14th of December. We absolutely will invite you back there, because I have no doubt that there will be big developments happening there, and certainly resolutions that we want to speak to you about and engage a bit more. Dr. Alex Mashilo is the SACP spokesperson and the Central Committee member, speaking about the SACP's decision to contest local government elections.